were intrigued to find a sport badge on this 2017 Civic because for more than a decade now, Honda has been one of the few automakers using the word as if it means something. The Fit Sport brought marked improvement, and a rear anti-roll bar 409, to the Wii commuter, and today's Accord Sport, the best version of the 10 best cars winning sedan according to most CD staffers, keeps the torch burning. We've previously tested the Civic in coupe and hatchback forms with the optional turbocharged 1.5-liter inline-4, and naturally aspirated 2.0-liter as standard in sedans and coupes, coupled to a continuously variable automatic transmission. Anyone expecting the combination of CVT and turbo to be a 1-2 punch to the gut of fun would be wrong, but Honda's winningest combination comes when you opt for a 6-speed manual transmission available in the Civic Hatchback Sport, in which the 180 horsepower turbo 1.5-liter is standard equipment. Sport trimmings for the hatch include bigger wheels, 18 inches versus standard 16s and optional 17s elsewhere in the range, but also a healthy dollop of unnecessarily blacked-out body parts, which are particularly unflattering with bright paint colors like the red of the car tested here. We prefer the Sport in darker hues, where the black accents seem subtler, although it must be said that there's nothing subtle about the design. Whether or not our editors like the styling, we all agree there's lots of it. From behind the wheel, however, looks don't matter much. Little on the spec sheet has changed from our previous tests, which means Honda chassis tuners paid careful attention to the details of bushing and damper tuning. The steering is light, both in terms of feel and feedback. This is common for the class, but where the Civic steering leaves others behind is in responsiveness. Even little off-center wobbles initiate directional changes, yet without feeling nervous, and with a feathery light wheel, chucking the diminutive front driver into corners is an absolute blast. And grip. How did 0.93 grams on the skid pad and a 160-foot stop from 70 miles per hour sound? That's the same stopping distance and just 0.01 grams shy of a BMW 340iX drive riding on Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires. Surely Civic modders will swap the all-season Continental Conti Pro contacts, size 235/40R18, for some rubber in search of a few more hundredths of a G. But be warned, changing the O-tire could have an undesired effect on overall balance and ride. This car isn't short on grip, so don't go mucking up something that's already good. No tech? Unlike the old naturally aspirated Honda Mills, this turbocharged and direct-injected 1.5-liter inline-4 lacks the multiple cam profiles that made tech famous in the 90s. It does have variable camshaft phasing, today's industry norm, and it is a fun engine to rev, proving burly low in the rev range and eager to spin to its 6,500 revolution per minute redline. It just isn't quite as much fun as an old tech engine. Making just 180 horsepower and 177 pounds-to-foot of torque, increases of 6 ponies and 10 pounds-to-foot over the standard hatch's engine. Thank you, premium fuel, which Honda recommends for the Sport. The 1.5-liter is by no means a powerhouse. Then again, the class-leading Mazda 3 makes only 184 horses. Compared with a CVT-equipped Sport hatchback, this manual edition hit 60 miles per hour 0.1 second later. Wait. Huh? We couldn't believe it, either. It takes 2 shifts, though, to do the job with the manual, the second of those coming just before the 60-mile-per-hour mark. The manual Sport does outperform the CVT in many other acceleration measures, however, cracking off a quarter-mile 0.2 seconds sooner, in 15.2 seconds at 94 miles per hour, and reaching 100 miles per hour 1.5 seconds earlier than the automatic version. But the pleasure derived from shifting the Civic far outweighs the 0.1 second 0 to 60 penalty. Brilliantly placed pedals and a charmingly light shifter allow for the kind of heel and toe down shifts that make your co-pilot jealous. There is no lack of goodness in the low $20K hatch segment. Both the Volkswagen Golf and the Mazda 3 are fantastic all-around packages that appear on our current and best cars list. But, In sport trim, the Civic upset the stalwarts of the segment in our recent comparison test and brought home the gold medal. The Golf might feel more planted and refined than the ultra-lively 3, but the Civic Sport splits the difference, delivering a smooth highway ride, as much fun as this price allows, and the practicality that makes hatchbacks popular. A wide hatch opening reveals 23 cubic feet of space with the second row upright, or 46 cubes when folded. Both volumes are a few squares short of class leaders, though. Driven very hard, with us redlining the engine on almost every shift, the Sport hatch returned 31 miles per gallon. This is a bit short of the EPA's 33 mile per gallon combined rating. Driven with more restraint, the Sport sips fuel, as is proved by the 43 miles per gallon we measured in our 75 mile per hour highway fuel economy test. This real-world result is nearly 10% better than the EPA's highway rating of 39 miles per gallon. In basic sport trim, this $22,175 Civic is rather Spartan. To the base LX, $20,575, the Sport adds fog lights, a center exit exhaust, and the aforementioned body mods and 18-inch wheels, illuminated vanity mirrors, a rear center armrest, aluminum pedals, and a leather-wrapped steering wheel and shift knob. But there's no satellite radio, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay for the 5.0-inch LCD display. Unfortunately, to get any of those touchy things on a sport-trimmed hatchback, you have to go for the Sport Touring model, $29,175, which unfortunately can't be had with the stick shift. We wish there were a Civic hatchback that was the perfect porridge, blending the sublime chassis of the Sport with a few more upscale features and a manual transmission. Mazda offers a manual gearbox throughout the 3 lineup, and the Golf Wolfsburg, only about $300 more than this Civic, has some of the missing tech elements we'd love to see in this car. For now, the Sport hits the spot in this cutthroat segment, but it'll need more substance to fend off the competition in years to come. While Infiniti has been riding a wave of increased sales thanks to the QX30 small crossover and the sultry Q60 coupe, the Q50 sports sedan remains the brand's core vehicle and biggest seller. Since its launch for the 2014 model year, Infiniti has expanded and advanced the Q50's lineup with more engine options, improved performance, and upgraded luxury. For 2018, the Q50 receives a mild mid-cycle refresh, highlighted by slightly tweaked looks, rejiggered trim levels, and further refinement of the steering and the overall driving experience. Onward and slightly upward. The Q50 kicked off Infiniti's Q Everything naming convention, and it's now the first model to usher in a new trim level nomenclature. What was formerly base is now pure, and what was premium is now luxe. The sport trim continues, but there is a new performance package available as an option that brings upgraded brakes, a firmer suspension, and a quicker steering ratio. The Red Sport 400 performance model stands as its own entity. The engine lineup remains the same. The entry point is a 208 horsepower turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4. Mid-level engines include a 300 horsepower twin-turbo 3.0-liter V6 and a 360 horsepower 3.5-liter V6 hybrid, and the range topper also uses the boosted 3.0-liter V6, tuned to 400 horsepower. Every powertrain is linked to a 7-speed automatic transmission, with magnesium paddle shifters available on the 3.0-ton Sport and the Red Sport 400. The Q50 remains one of the better values in the segment, with pricing of each version on par with or below those of their toughest competitors. The 2.0 tons Pure starts at $35,105, the 2.0 tons looks at $37,455, the 3.0 tons looks at $39,855, the 3.0 ton Sport at $41,555, the Hybrid looks at $51,505, and the Red Sport 400 at $51,905. All models are rear-wheel drive to start, with all-wheel drive a $2,000 option that is available across the board. The aforementioned performance package has a $1,500 price tag, and the new factory performance exhaust costs $589 to $681, plus installation, depending on whether mufflers are included. Spot the difference. The Q50's revised styling is so subtle that, at first glance, we thought we were gazing upon last year's version. Up front, the bumper has been slightly reshaped, as has the grille and the daytime running light housings. The looks and the Pure have softer fascias intended to look more luxurious. The Sport and the Red Sport have edgier visuals that include integrated aero bits at the corners. At the rear, there's a new decklet, bumper, and taillights. The trunk swaps its lower chrome strip for a simple crease, the bumper no longer has reflectors, and the taillights adopt a more horizontal shape with LED lamps. The Sport models are further distinguished by black lower bumper sections and contrasting body color diffusers bracketed by special exhaust tips. The 2.0 tons and 3.0 tons looks models add a new 18-inch wheel design, while the 19 inches on the hybrid looks and the 3.0 tons Sport are new as well. The interior gets contrast stitching, a new steering wheel, a new shift lever, upgraded interior lighting, and an available 16-speaker Bose Performance Series audio system. Power trip. The only model available for us to drive was a fully optioned Red Sport 400. As one of the smallest luxury automakers in the game, Infiniti's plan to gain market share largely rests on offering more power for the same or less money, and this car is the headliner. The Red Sport 400, which also packs 350 pounds-to-foot of torque, offers more ponies than the BMW 340i, the Audi S4, and the Mercedes-AMG C43. Codenamed VR30, this power plant is the successor to the brand's long-standing VQ series, and it first appeared in the Q50 last year. The engine is the car's biggest strength and boasts a host of technologies that aid in making it more powerful, more efficient, and more responsive. It features an exhaust manifold integrated into the cylinder head, liquid-to-air intercoolers, an electric motor on the valve timing system, and a direct injection system that delivers gasoline based on throttle position and engine speed. It also features a turbine speed sensor that allows for higher RPM and more boost, 14.7 pounds per square inch in the Red Sport compared with 9.5 pounds per square inch in the lower-powered 3.0 tons Sport. Go deeper into the engine's details here. The result is snappy throttle response and virtually no turbo lag. The Q50 feels powerful because it is, and the rear can be kicked out easily, sometimes surprisingly so, although it's immediately caught and corrected by the stability control system. Turn it off, and it's possible to disintegrate the rear tires in a smoky haze, if that's your heart's desire. A 2016 Q50 Red Sport 400 we tested hustled from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds, and we expect this facelifted version to perform similarly. Throttle tip-in is smooth, and there's plentiful thrust for slingshotting around traffic. This engine lives up to the badge's premium aspirations with its quiet and refined demeanor, which was enhanced this year by noise, vibration, and harshness reductions throughout the car. For the 2018 model year, Infiniti moved the paddle shifters from the column to the steering wheel. Unfortunately, that doesn't fix the issues with the 7-speed automatic. While full throttle upshifts are smooth enough, during normal driving the gearbox occasionally seemed lost trying to find the right ratio, and in manual mode the shifts can be a bit slow and then engage abruptly, even with rev matching on the downshifts. Freewheeling. The Q50 introduced the world to Infiniti's contentious Directed Active Steering (DAS) system, which has no mechanical connection between the steering wheel and the steering rack, except in cases of electronic failure, when an explosive bolt fires and creates a mechanical link. Enthusiasts and reviewers have chided its disconnected behavior and lack of feedback. Now in its second generation and having benefited from some reprogramming, the available steer-by-wire setup has learned a few lessons. Drivers have the choice among 6 different driving modes: Snow, Eco, Standard, Sport, Sport Plus, and personal, the last of which is customizable. The different modes alter throttle response, transmission shift points, the dampers, and the steering ratio. According to Infiniti, the steering ratio at 60 miles per hour is 4% faster in Sport mode and 12% quicker in Sport Plus, and we noticed a change in steering weight at lower speeds as well. Steering in standard mode is slightly vague and light, while Sport is better and Sport Plus is impressively sharp. But the wheel is still deaf to nearly all chatter. Infiniti touts the DAS's ability to eliminate vibrations and jerking of the steering wheel, but those subtle motions make up a large chunk of steering feel, and silencing them is an attack on a driver's line of communication to the tires. That notwithstanding, Sport mode is the sweet spot, balancing engaging driving and comfort, while Sport Plus was frequently deployed during our drive over winding Tennessee roads. It's a little too aggressive for everyday driving. According to Infiniti, the DAS makes 1,000 adjustments per second, which also means it will make a handy partner for autonomous driving technology. Currently, however, none of the increasingly common driver assist features are standard on the Q50, except the hybrid. A $1,650 Pro Assist package on the 2.0 tons Lux and 3.0 tons models provides a 360-degree camera, blind spot warning, forward collision warning, and backup collision intervention. A $2,700 proactive package adds lane departure warning, lane keeping assist, and blind spot intervention, along with a bunch of other tech, but it's available only on 3.0 tons models and the Red Sport 400. Getting there. Infiniti chose the Q50 as its pace car to lead the brand into a new era. It adopts new features and powertrains before other vehicles in the lineup and is supposed to show buyers the spirit of the company. The Red Sport 400 is a mighty capable vehicle and a true dual-purpose sports sedan, although as the top-of-the-line version it can reach $60,000 with options. It's fast, has a ton of technology, and looks intriguing without compromising practicality. It's certainly not perfect, as the transmission and the steering still could use some improvement, but it's a solid option in a crowded segment that has lost some of its spice.